Hi, how y'all doing? It's January the 16th, 2026. It's Friday. Here in Ontario, Canada, it was clear, partially in the rise when I rose around 7, but there was this great big, massive, heavy, thick cloud, right, in a circular kind of, you know, shape around the sky. That would look like a giant mothership if I could see behind me, if it was a complete circle, right? But yeah, so it clouded over. But before I did that, I seen the waning crescent moon in the east sky. It should not have been there. It should have been over in the west because it was just like a half an hour before the sun rose. So that's different. Not sure what that means. They're not driving the ship very well. I didn't make a video yesterday. I was too antsy. I wasn't resonating with anything on the tube. Right? I just had a quiet day. Well, my friend came over in the rise. We sat for a couple hours and chatted, right? Um, about this man she has coming over to her house. She drives him around. He's an alcoholic. He's been here a couple times and had some drinks with us, right? Twice. And I don't find him of any use whatsoever. Plus, he's hers. You know what I mean? And it's against my code to have interest in any man that is a friend of my friends or is, connected to my friend or my family members, like sisters, right? I made this when I was young, right? With my little sister. I have two, right? One's closer to my age. I made it with her that if I ever dated a man and broke up with him, no, I asked her not to date him, and I would do the same for her. And she agreed. And then a week later, she broke her word, right? And then, yeah, so I just don't show interest in my friends' male people, right? And yeah, he showed up at my door the other night when I was making dinner. Not yesterday, but the day before. And I just said, "What's up?" And he's like, I only opened the door a crack." And he just asked me if he could come in. I said, "No, I'm busy. I'm making dinner for my son and myself." And he's like, "Oh, I said, go to Tassa's." And he goes, "I did. There's no answer. She's not home." I said, "Oh," he says, "I just wanted to come in to get warm." I said, "Well, go over to the grocery store, sit there under the heaters." And he was like, "No, I'll wait." And I said, "Okay, bye." Closed the door. So when she showed up yesterday, I asked her if she thought it was too hard on him. And she said, "No," right? She goes, "He came back to my house. I was sleeping. And he knocked some more and I woke up." And I was like, "Oh," I thought that was suspicious, right? She said, "No, I don't trust anybody. And we're in a spiritual war right now." Excuse me. So people aren't even aware sometimes if they have attachments and stuff, what power's working through them and how, right? But my intuition just tells me to be wary, right? Keep guard. That's all, right? I know it sounds confusing, doesn't it? Try living my life, being as awake as I am, you know? Very confusing. I learned something the other day that Libya sells slaves. Melanated, dark skinned people from all over Africa are taken to Libya and they're sold cheap. That place needs to have something happen to make that stop, right? I think so. Nobody should be a slave. Nobody will be a slave once this flips, right? We're still in 2025, really, until April the 1st. So, in my mind, we're not done the 9 year yet. We'll see what happens. We have a few months, right? We're halfway through January, February, March. 2 more months. So 2.5 months. Iran's still kicking off. It is, right? They're not giving up. They can't give up. If the people give up, they'll get massacred, right? So I guess now it's like, how many casualties is it going to take for them to throw out the wicked regime, the Islamic regime, which isn't just in Iran. It's in all over the realm. It's in Americas. It's in England, wherever you have those people, right? I hope they will get rounded up and dealt with, all of them. Nobody gets out alive or unscathed. The dirt they've done will be seen, and justice will come for them, either through the 3D way or the Mother Nature way, right? Spirit. The Schuman's go spike so hard that light codes are gonna come. And there'll be the great flash, and all those that aren't meant to be here, that are wicked, will be taken. The mitochondrial will be shut off. It's a gene we have in us. This connects us to our mother, right? I know it's difficult to understand. I've tried to explain it to my friend. But yeah, I've been following the Schuman for a while now, since 2017, something like that, when I first got my attention. I noticed how much it had moved over the years, right? It's just like off the chart. It never used to be this high, right? Yesterday the Schuman was 10 with 1.5 hour blackouts. We've been having a lot of those little blackouts in the last week, haven't we? 3.5, 2.5, now 1.5, right? I wonder what this is about. Either the machine's not reading it properly because it's spiking too high, or they're just not telling us, right? Right? I seen a raven the other day too. Not yesterday, the day before. The day before, that guy showed up. So now I know it means incoming, right? But my intuition paid off. I said, nah, don't do this, right? But this is who I am. I have boundaries. I'm not letting you in when I'm making my dinner because I haven't prepared enough for you because you're unexpected. If you wanted to visit me, you'd have to call me. You know what I mean? It's been my rule forever. My children know this. They wouldn't bring a friend home at that time. They would get a hold of me before that and say, can they come for dinner? They're coming at 5. And I'd be like, oh, okay, you know. But other than that, no, I won't eat in front of people like that, right? Have them into my house and sit there and eat and not have enough to feed them. It goes against who I am, right? With my 6 children, it was like that. I never bought anything for one that I didn't buy for all 6. Nobody got special stuff. I didn't let anybody feel more important than the next, right? I loved them all the same. I don't have a special child or a favorite. Never did. My mother did, stuff like that, which bugged me. I couldn't understand why she was like that. You know what I mean? It just doesn't, it's not who I am. But yeah. That's my Ascension symptoms. A lot of pressure in my head, my spine, adjacent behind my heart chakra up the back. I just got a stab in pain a while. I go back there. My tailbone, my legs are antsy. All right. I'm not feeling very comfortable. I'm feeling kind of irritated and frustrated because I can't find anything on YouTube to watch. I was listening to funky music earlier, right? It rose my vibration. But I did that for an hour or two and then I was tired of it. I wanted to find another way to entertain myself. But yeah, I watched about the Iran, what's going on in Iran. The Crown Prince was making a speech. He was in Washington, D.C., right? That's suspicious. Something's going on there. It's all part of the movie, all right? I'm not saying that people aren't getting hurt, but it's part of their movie, right? Like there was a whole bunch of 12-year-old girls that um, the Islamic regime, had put in prison, and he told his soldiers that guard them to rape them before they executed them so they wouldn't go to heaven. Got to keep up the biblical narrative, right? And so everybody was oohing and on about that. And then I guess throughout the night, a bunch of young men from Iran went and freed them. Nice plot twist, right? For sure. When I was watching the Prince of Iran doing his speech in Washington, D.C., I'm pretty sure it was CGI, right? The back of his head kept on going black, you know? Parts of him kept on disappearing, like he was in front of a green screen kind of thing. But it is a movie. Remember I told you a couple years ago I was watching a video of a train going through the United States, and on the side of all the boxcars it said, "This is a movie," and it had a whole bunch of migrants on top of it, right? And I thought, wow, that's there, isn't it? You know? So yeah, I'm just tired of listening to people on YouTube that are still like awake, but still in the 3D because of their academics, right? Maybe that's why I woke up more, because I never got to go to high school. They didn't allow it, right? The school system, the town where I live in, right? Had to keep me down. But they really did me a big favor, right? Because a lot of social engineering everybody else went through, I never was a part of that, right? I never was. They tested me for the gifted program too in public school. I remember them putting a headset on me and making sounds. I was in a dark room and I was supposed to hit a button or something when I heard a sound on which ear. You know what I mean? But yeah, nothing ever came of it because I never stayed in school. I started leaving that when I was 6. I mean, when I was in 6th grade, you know, I just, it didn't resonate with it at all. I was intelligent. I got really high scores on all my tests, but it wasn't a place where I wanted to be. So yeah, it's what made me who I am, different. Every man I've ever dated has always said to me, "You're different than other women." I'd be like, "Yeah, I know, right? It's just who I am, the way I was raised, right? What happened to me in my life. I'm not social engineered like other women, where I want to take your house and your car when we break up. Nah, right? I'll leave with what I have, or you leave with what you brought. You know what I mean? That's how it goes. I'm not going to keep your stuff. Take your stuff. I don't want to see your stuff. I don't care what it is, right? Just let me have what I brought into this kind of thing, you know? And most men don't realize that. They're used to getting taken advantage of by women that, yeah, think they deserve his stuff, you know? Well, I meant my husbands were like that too. They thought they deserved my stuff, but they didn't. So I'm not greedy, right? I don't have much to talk about. I'm not resonating with anything. I'm not. It's kind of a lull for me. Another pause. My ears are ringing today too. They were ringing last night. I slept okay. Woke up several times. Just been dreaming. Yesterday I didn't make a video. I was icky. Right? And I was just the same way I am today. Feeling kind of frustrated. What about? I'm not sure. It's just the feeling that's in my body. Right? I think it could be from the collective consciousness. Right? Gotta block myself, shield myself from that. Put up your shield. Right? Yeah. When the full moon, I mean, the new moon comes on the 18th, so 2 more days, right? What? Sunday? Hmm. Hopefully that goes easy for me and for yous, right? I was watching a guy, a Seer Ducateers. I'm not sure what to make of him, right? I'm just learning. And he was saying that he was showing proof that Spaniards, right, were dogs. They ran around on all fours, right? And they had to be trained by the Moors, shaven and bathed and everything, and trained to walk upright and to be civilized. And then he showed pictures of people's abuelas or whatever, and how they have beards, women, beards and mustaches, and being very hairy. And it was their genetics that was coming out of them, you know, because they bred them with white women that the Moors had to breed the dog out of them, right? I'm just saying, I'm not being racist, right? I just thought that was interesting, right? You know what I mean? Different. Just different stuff I'm learning, right? I wonder what else will come out. All right. I told you the Schuman yesterday was 10 and a 1.5 hour blackout. I don't know what it is today. I haven't, the Schuman hasn't been posted yet. It's chilly here though, like minus 23. My window frosted up when I woke in the rise. All right. Chilly to the bone it is. But the temperature's going down. It's supposed to be -8, -9 tonight. So yeah. I hope my truck will start. I haven't started it for a week. My bad, right? I just have been exhausted mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually for the last week. 2 weeks. Alright? Something's a change, and it could be just us, our DNA changing, that's making us be tired. I'm not sure. Right? Or it could be setting us up for the big sleep when the solar flare flashes off and they reset us. It's going to be a good reset, though, not a bad one like the other ones, right? Because they're not in charge anymore. Oh, wow. I suppose life's exciting, if not just in my mind, right? Because actually, I'm isolated pretty much, and life's pretty boring, all right? Other than the odd visit I get once in a while. I don't go anywhere anymore. It's of no use to me, right? Because I don't trust anybody, right? I don't. I'm questioning everybody now that I've listened to in the last couple of years. I am. I ask Source, Great Spirit, give me eyes to see the truth. If they're fakes or scammers, show me, right? Make it so. So, yeah. Every day, I see the truth more than the day before. Every day, I am enlightened more than the day before. And every day, I have more gratitude. Love you all's consciousness. Enjoy this night or day. Okay? Okay. Bye. Bye.